to focus on RE framework. So this is one of the best template ever suggested or given by the uipath tool. So this kind of framework you cannot see in other RPA tools. Of course, this is a ready-made template or a framework available in UiPath. If you go for other RPA tools, you have to develop your own framework or a template. So I will use a alternate word for is a template. You know the importance of template. Template is nothing but it's a kind of ready to use ready to use a sample. So to instead of starting from zero, you can take this template and design your flow. So RE framework is, you can see there is an option called as template. Okay, here on the UI path screen, here we have the template options. So what this template option is, apart from process, library, and template, so template option gives you to design your own template for your organization. Okay, so kind of basic version of development. So if some assignment given to you, or you have to automate something, a combination of different automations like Excel, email, web automations, combination complex projects is there. Okay, how you want to start automating that particular process? Do you want to start from zero, or do you want to start from a sample template? So template is a kind of standard flow has been designed, and that flow you have to understand how I can use that flow to automate my process. Okay, what is the main intention behind this RE framework? This is a template basically. This is a template. So this template we are going to use to automate my complex process. So initially this template is going to be empty. Okay. For example, I want to create my resume. Okay. I want to create my biodata resume. What is the first step I would like to look for? I will look for a template. Is it correct, guys? Or else I will create my own template. What is your intention? What do you do? Do you follow either of one? Either you go from scratch, means build your own template for the resume, or you can take some samples who has already built or available on some resources. Take the reference of that one and fill out your information in that biodata. And what is the benefit of using template? What do you say, guys? It will save our time,
Yes, definitely, sir.
Yes.
right? And also we come to know what kind of standards, because if you want to start from zero as a beginner or maybe experienced guy also, we have to do it from scratch. Okay, and we are not at all having any reference point to work with that. So always going with the template is beneficial, because first of all it will save our time. Second thing, all standard has been followed in that template, so that is always a plus point. Need not to worry about that. Third thing is what, customization is also there. Means even though we are following the template, it's not mandatory you have to use as it is. So there is a provision we can do the customization. So you can change whatever you want in that template. Correct? So these are some benefits of using a template. So while working in UiPath tool, while automating any process, we can go for template. So far, till date, all of you have started with process. Correct? We have started with process which is very blank and empty, and we started building flowchart, sequences, state machines, putting up, pulling out all the activities, required activities, so and so far. Correct? Now we are going to go from the template rather than using a empty process, which already we know how, in a better way how can do that from the scratch. But to keep a standard, industry standard, to handle a very repetitive kind of processes, operations, I would say. So where we have to go for a standard template or the framework, which will give me some benefits. What benefits? Which gives me a standard template and save my time to redesign it. Second thing, followed all the exception parameters like this exception handling, right? One of the important topic, I would say, one of the important parameter of any automation, exception handling. So that's supposed to be handled in that template. Log mechanisms. You know the importance of log mechanisms. Putting a log activity is always helpful when you are running the bot in unattended mode, because that is the only one mean through which you can understand where the bot is. I hope you seen the logs when you trigger the bot from your orchestrator. You can see the logs. You can see the logs means you can without login, without getting into the system, you can see the progress through the logs. So those log mechanisms also should be there in the template. So so instead of designing our own template, it's always better to have understand this particular template and which will applicable to most of the processes, industry process, that is robotic enterprise framework. So once you understand this particular template, how it is, what are the stages, what empty workflows are there, how exception has been handled, then I can then if I have a complex process having web automation, Excel automation, email automation in combinations, I can put my process into this template. So to understand better way, if you have a resume template of your friend, what you will do, you will put, you will replace name of your friend by your name, address by your address, phone number by your phone, like so simply where putting our data into that template. So likewise only robotic enterprise framework, this RE framework is empty template where we have to put our own content, own automations as per our requirement. Getting the context, what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So, but before directly we cannot do this. So we have to understand what are the different parameters of this RE framework, where I have to put what, how I have to divide my entire automation into different stages. So all those things we have to understand in a better way through this RE framework. Once I understand this template, then I can, so I will be better at using that template. I have to understand this template first. So today our focus would be to understand this particular template. Once I understood, then I will be at better position to what, I will be a better position to use this particular template for any automations. I hope this is very pretty clear for you people. So let me open up with this, click on this, it gives like this. Okay guys, so let me store it some other D drive for test. Okay, so under test I'm going to store this. So this is again, let's say test test framework. So in your system probably it will look different. Okay, because version issues, I would say. In version wise, in your system, it will be different. So click on this open main workflow. You will see one kind of structure like this. So this is basically, don't get afraid. This is basically a state machine. I believe we understood state machine during our initial sessions. Workflow type, sequence, flowchart, state machine. Have you understood state machine? The beginning sessions?
It wasn't like
Like,
in detail, sir.
yes, like we for complex process, we need to use this.
Correct, correct. That is true. That is absolutely true. But whether you understood, I don't remember. But we normally take that as an example. Uh, what I can say, guessing game number example. You might have seen during We implemented using flowchart as well as state machine. Okay. So okay, don't worry if you don't recall, then you can see the video initial first or two sessions videos. So where you can find out importance of. So far we have used sequence and flowchart, for the development purpose. State machines were rarely used, I would say, but state machine is a use for complex process. Sequence and flowchart will be part of state machine. I mean to say, it doesn't mean that you cannot automate using sequence and flowchart. We can do, but to handle a complex process, big process in real time, it should be in a proper manner. Okay. So we have a provision called a state machine where we can divide your automation into different stages altogether. And dividing the automation into different stages is only possible using a state machine. So state machine will look like this, how it is looking in front of the screen. So we have the different states here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So this is one state. Okay. This is the another state. So basically state machine is having different states. The intention of this state and all the states are connected through some lines. This is called as transition. Okay. Transition from initialization to gate transition data block. The name of this one block is, this is the custom name. So each states are connected through the transition lines. Okay. You can see these are the connected through some transition lines. There is some meanings to this particular transition lines. There is some meanings. When actually this defines from the, as a normal guy, how I can understand this? From this first state called as initialization, there are the two paths. One is successful, second one is system exception. Is it simple to understand? From initialization we can go two ways. One is through successful I can reach to get transition data, and another is through system exception I will reach to end process. Similarly, I can understand from get transition data state I can go to process transition or I can go to end process. But if you observe carefully, with these transactions, with this transition, there are some conditions when I have to go to, when the bot supposed to go to get transition data, when it is supposed to go to end process. So these lines has been connected. These lines have been connected. So the meaning of these lines are is there is some condition whenever from this state, whenever the decision has to make, like where to go, that decision is added in the transition lines. Let me click on this, you can see, understand. Okay. Okay, I just minimized. You can see initializations. This is the state initializations. So in the state machine we have three different blocks: entry block, exit block, transition block. So in entry block, we are going to keep, mostly we use entry block, and exit block is not at use. The meaning is almost same only. Okay. So whenever bot enters to this particular state, it will execute this. While leaving, it will execute this. So it is always recommended to go with entry. So here the main program is written. What is that? We'll understand later on. Transition. So you can see there are the two transitions. In the pictorial we have already seen, right? Two transitions are there. But actually how it look like, here is successful destination is where to where. From initialization, we can go to end process or we can go to get transition data. Okay. When? When there is a successful, it has to go get transition data. When system exception, it has to go end process. If you click on this carefully, so you can see the conditions. What it is saying. What is meaning? What is the meaning of success? So you can see true transition, guys. Again, I'm going to explain. From the initialization, we can go to get transition data or we can go to end process. So when to go get transition, just maximize this. What is written here?
System exception is nothing.
So
No system
this is the
exception.
condition actually. When
Yeah.
system exception is nothing, means when the system exception is a variable actually, some boolean variable or some variable having some information. Forget about what this and all. We'll understand later on. So basically, we are understanding the state machine concept. So when this is nothing means empty, then only go to get transition data. So if this is not matching, then we'll go for the next condition. What is the next condition? Expand this. What they are saying? System exception is not nothing, means something is there. Then go to end process. So basically, what is the meaning of what I can understand from this one is from moving from one state to other state, moving from one state to other state, the transition line should match some conditions, right? It should follow some conditions. If this particular condition is matching, it will follow this. If system exception condition is matching, it will follow the second one. Understood? Likewise, we have again two more paths here. Even if you expand this, you can understand the similar way. Okay? Just minimize this entry point. This is the main program. Here you can see from new transition, you have to go process transition. No data, go to end state. If you click on this, you can see the again conditions. What conditions? If you expand this, what they are saying, transaction atom is not nothing. So transition atom is some variable. If it is not empty, not nothing means not empty, then go to what? Process transaction. Means next state. What is the meaning of other conditions? What is the meaning of other conditions? Transaction atom is nothing. Means transaction atom is empty. Then go to what? End state. So basically, this is already ready-made, guys. But if you are going for blank state machine concept, when we have to define the conditions like this, based on condition, it will move from one state to another state. Is it clear? How we are moving from one state to other state based on some conditions. So basically, if you can add, let's say from this to this, I'm going to add. Okay, for example, I'm going to add extra state here, line. So this is coming up as a what? T1. So I have to define a rule. Okay, what I have to do here? As a developer, I have to define a rule. When a bot should follow this path, I have to define a rule. Click on this, double click. So you can give a name here. Okay, let's say test and provide a condition. Getting this, guys? You have to provide a condition. Then only whenever it follows, whenever it meets the required condition, then only it goes to initialization. If not matching, it will check for the other conditions. Is it clear? Any questions, confusions?
So, sir, every state will have the if condition applies, like there is a
Correct.
true or false. If true, then
Correct.
it will go to that path, and if it not true, then it will go other way. Like,
Yes. So for every state, some decision points are there, and those decisions we can add it. When to follow this path, having some decision. When to follow this path, there is a decision. So basically, we are dividing entire automation into different stages. So here in RE framework, we have the four different stages: initialization, get transition data, process transition, and end process. So they recommended we can divide our process into four different stages. Now it is up to you. Do you want to use the same state, or you want to add any other state, delete any other state from this one? That is up to you. But it's recommended to go with this existing state. So it most of the processes fit into this requirement. most of the process. Okay, guys, most of the process fit into this framework. And how these states are connected through the transition lines. How the flow is going here through the conditions given inside the transition lines. If you want to increase the what is the connections or the transitions, you can do it. Provide the respective conditions. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you want to understand quickly, I will show you the another example. Okay, just to uh, so I have taken state machine as an example here. No, just to give a context in a better way. Uh, we'll take a state. Why it is not coming straight? Yeah, here it is. So always you should have one state, one final state minimum. Okay, I can take multiple state here like this. Okay, so let's give a naming to this quickly, just to give an idea how it look like. State one. This is my state two, and this is let's say final state. I am going to start from state one. Okay, it's connected here. Connected. From state one, I have to go end state. Okay, try to understand how it's simple. I'm going to go for end state, or I also want to go to this state. Okay, and from this again I'm going to end state. So how many lines we have connected here? Three lines: T1, T2, T3. Now it will ask कि भाई how to, when you will want to go from state one to final state. When we have to put a condition here. When you have to go from state one to state two, we have to put a condition here. Like from state two to state final state, when you want to go state, so T3 is a condition. What we can do, let me take a quick example over here. We'll take one as an activity, okay, just for understanding in a better way. First number, okay, say 10. It's an integer. Along the way, there could be some other, what can say, program. Okay. So what I will do, I will put a logic here in the condition. What I will say, कि भाई variable first number, if it is greater than 10, reading guys, if it is greater than 10, I want to go for final state. Understood what condition has been added here? First number. Then second state, what is a T2? What I'm going to add here? When first number is equal to 10, I want to go for state 2 here. So right now, what is the value of this variable? 10. Now, where it will go? Any idea?
T2. State 2.
Yeah. So
Yes,
here I'm going
state
to
two.
make it as a name like this. Okay. So it will be easy to understand. Equal to 10, and this one is greater than 10. Okay. You can put a condition like this, guys. You can put a condition like this. So here we are not putting any conditions. How to look? So let's me debug this. We are not going to take any data because already we have provided the value to that variable. So where it will go? It will go to state 2. What's completed? So to understand, I can put a log message so that we can understand. Yeah, it has moved to this state like this. Okay, I'm going to use step into just to see the flow, to understand the flow. It's taking time. Let me do it debug way. I don't know why it is waiting. Just a minute, guys. Having some issues probably. Let me run the file. See, it has gone to straight to this one. Same message has been added, right? If you provide some different value, let's say 12, what do you think? Where it will go? End
First.
state. End state, na?
State one, yes.
So what will happen here in this case, guys? Value is 12 now, so which is greater than 10. So it will not follow the second path. It will follow the this path.
First one, it will go to the final state, sir.
Yeah, straight one, final state.
The activities are not visible in output pane, sir, in reframework.
No, if you added a logs, then only it will visible, na?
Okay.
I thought so. It is taking debugging is not working in my system. Let me run it only. Okay. So you can see it gone to the end state. So basically it followed this path because it is matching with this condition, right? Here is matching. So that's why it's gone to the end state. So basically RE framework is look like same only. Okay. But having the different lines, transition lines has been connected to that. So inside this we can put entry point. So we can put a sequence or flowchart here. Okay. And generate a conditions for that. Here also we can put any sequence and flowchart. If you go in RE framework in the depth of that one, so you can see this particular flow has been added. So we have to understand that. Again, if you go get transition, you can see there is a big, what can say, sequence has been added. Similarly, if you go in the process state, we can see there is one more workflow has been or sequence has been added. So likewise, this is the entire sequence. So, but before going for one state to another state, they have generated some conditions. If the respective conditions are matching, then only it will go to that particular state. Any question so far? Any confusion in the state machine? How it is different than sequence and flowchart? We don't have conditions. In sequence and flowchart, we can use if conditions or a flow decisions. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
To move from, to take the decisions, either left or right, true or false. In sequence, you have if conditions. In flowchart, flow decision. And in state machines, we have the transitions.
So
The meaning and sorry,
one
yes.
question, sir. Sorry to interrupt. So variable is always it should be boolean, or we can take the variable as in when.
It should be any, it could be anything, but the entire should be boolean. This entire should be boolean
Okay.
because we are putting some conditions. That condition is a thing, but the answer of this condition is true or false. If you provide only this much, this is not a boolean. This is a variable. We are
Very-
adding some condition to that, means it becomes a boolean. Complete condition is becomes a boolean. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So choice is yours. If you want to go with the boolean, then we can put that, or you can put a conditions which makes that expression or condition boolean. That is also fine. So now at high level, how you can explain this? At high level, just by observations. Anybody wants to take a chance to explain this? flow of this one. We are not going depthness of this one, but just to based on the flow, how you can explain this? What exactly happening here based on your observations? End to end flow. Can anybody explain?
Yes, like RE framework is having four states:
Hmm.
initialization, get initialization, get transaction data, and process transaction, and end process. These four states are there in RE framework, and to move from one state to another state, we have transitions. Based on those transitions, it goes from one state to another state.
Hmm. What else? How you'll explain the flows?
If the condition is not matching, sir, from like transition from one state to another state, it will go to other state, and if the condition is like matching, then it will move to uh, relevant state, and will likewise will get to the endpoint.
Okay. So just to add on to your explanation is excellent. Like you uh, captured it very correctly. So just to add on to you some points to your answers. So from initialization, there are the two transitions. One is going to get transition data, another is going to end process. So when the initialization is successful, what is the definition of successful? No error.
No, yeah.
Simple, na? When we can say success? When there is no error. So when the initialization is not having any error, means it's successful, it will go to get transition data. When there is error, the category of error is system exception. I hope you understood this difference, system exception, business exceptions, in the exception topic where Sunil might have explained this concept. So system exception is related to the application exceptions. Okay, maybe website not opening, Outlook is not responding, kind of errors. So those are errors. If initialization in entire block, if you are getting some error, then it will go to end state. So just by observation, I am explaining. Okay. Next, in the get transition state, so it is getting some transaction for processing. If the data is available, then it is going to process state. That is called as new transaction. When no data for processing, there is no data, it will go to end state. Is it so? Third block, process transition. From the process transition, there are the three output: success, business exception, system exception. Okay. Success. When the process transition date state is successful, then it will go to get transition data. If there is a business exception, again it will go to get transition data. And if it is a system exception or error, it will go to initialization. Just a minute, guys. So I hope you understood at high level what exactly RE framework means. How many stages are there? How the transition lines are connected. So any interview will ask this question: what is RE framework? Whether you use RE framework process? If yes, then what are the different stages and how the flow happens in RE framework? We can explain like this. Okay. So let's go in depth of this one and understand importance of each stage. Again, my question: just by observations, are you able to understand what will be there? Any wild guess? What will be there in the initialization? What will be there in get transition data? And what would be there in get process transition? And what is there in end process? Any wild guesses? We'll correct it. No problem.
In
Any,
initial, yeah,
yes, yes,
Mohammed.
Rubina, go ahead.
Just a minute.
So
What about the others, guys? Only two people are talking. While others are just listeners, or you don't want to take any chance. So this forum is open to everyone, guys. Okay, don't be shy. Okay, yeah, go ahead, please.
In initialization stage, sir, we will get the input like input read range or read cell, and from that, then the once we get the input, then it will move to next state, get transaction data, like the it will perform the operations, and it will move ahead to the get transaction data, and based on the condition and get transaction data, it will move to next state. If it is like successful, it will get the outcome or output. If it is not, then it will move to end process, or it will move to business exceptions or system exceptions accordingly.
Hmm. Okay, anybody wants to add anything else?
Initialization, like variables will be created and initialized over there, and in get transaction data we'll get the data. If suppose for example we can get data from users also,
Mm-hmm.
and in process transaction we'll do the process like whatever is there, addition, subtraction, something like that,
Correct.
and end process is like ending the.
Absolutely correct. I think you tried in a bit too much better. Like, what exactly this? Anybody voluntarily wants to add anything? Okay. So yes. So to understand this entire four stages in better way, I will take an example of one use case. Okay. Okay. Suppose consider there is a data entry bot you have to develop, or maybe employee timesheet processing. Employee timesheet processing use case. I believe maybe Mohammed or someone said this example. They are using this kind of doing some processing of employee data and all. Maybe some related kind of examples. So you can relate this example very easily. So employee timesheet processing is nothing but, so daily people has to enter their work, how many hours of work has been done to a particular vendors. Okay, suppose this data, the data is coming up to the guy in the Excel format. Assume that, and that guy has to do it. What that guy has to read or see the details in Excel and fill it in one of the central application. Central application that is called as where uh, he has to enter all the details: employee name, vendor name. There is application, timesheet processing application, where that guy has to enter the data from Excel to application. What details he has to enter? One by one: employee name, vendor name, date, how many hours has been worked, completed, go for the next employee. So likewise, daily assume that there are the 50 to 100 data entry has to be done by a person. So daily routine job. Can anybody tell me what kind of automation is this involved? What kind of automation is this combinations of? Excel automation. If you want to automate this, Excel is the first automation you have to do. Second is application automation. And third one is email automation. Email is for what? Sending the emails at the end of the process. So combination of three automations. So how would you like to divide this process into different stages? So considering RE framework in my mind, I will I will I will divide the entire process into these stages, four stages. What are those stages and what will come under which stage? So I'll give some scenarios. I will give some scenarios. As a data entry guy, what you will do from the beginning? First of all, you will check for that input Excel file. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So let's have a discussion. Okay, it's not a one way of discussion, because you also have to add some points. We have designed some one example and we will discuss on this. First of all, what that guy will do, employee timesheet processing. Okay. First step. What that guy will do? First step. See the availability. What? Input Excel file. Correct. Same thing is
Yes.
what? If available, some validation has to do. Data is available or not. All those things. Okay. That has been done. Next is open application. Correct, na? Are these a step, guys? See the availability or take the input from Excel, see the availability or take the data from maybe manager, reporting manager, open the application. In open application itself having multiple stages, login, right? Validation has to do. Enter data one by one. And finally, report to manager about completion. How will report? Verbally or through the email. Same thing you have to do it through the bot. I'll give some scenarios. I'll give some scenarios. You have to give me the answers. I'm asking some validations, okay? Suppose, first of all, we'll check the availability of input file. If the file is available, what is the next validation you have to do? Validation is data is available or not in that Excel. File is there, but data is available or not. Correct? If data is also there, file is also there, then what is next step? Open the application. How? Using the login credentials. If the credentials are wrong, then what? We have to correct the credentials. Manually, I'm saying. So same thing you have to do it with the bot. Application is not opening. Then what? What you will do? Imagine yourself, you are working on that particular task and daily it's working fine. On fine day, what will happen? Application is not working. What your action?
We'll try again.
We'll try again. Still it is not opening. We will report someone, right?
We'll check with here the team who is working on this application.
Exactly. Exactly. I'll connect with the IT team who will help me to resolve the issue with application. So simply I will stop the process there itself because even after retrying, I'm not able to open the applications. So there is no any point to proceed further. Correct? There is no any point to proceed further. So that's why I'm going to stop there itself. Okay. Assume this is a positive scenario. Application open, login successful. Then window opened. Then what to do? From the Excel, there are the 100 records. One by one record I have to fetch and enter the data in application. While entering the data in application from the Excel, you may face challenges. There could be chances employee data is incomplete. Name and vendor name is there. Date is also there. Hours is zero. Hours is missing. It could be chances. Out of 100 record, there could be 5 to 10 records such that there is a data issue. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
What will be your action in that case? Out of 100, that's let's say in between randomly some position, let's say 5 transactions, 5 data has been processed, sixth we got issue, again 15th we got issue. What will be your call in that case? Imagine yourself, you're working on 100 data and you got the issue with the data, means data is incomplete in between. What is your call? What is your action in that case?
We'll skip that data for time being.
Absolutely. We are not going to report immediately, right? We're
Yes.
not going to report immediately because we have the 100. Out of 100, only 5 to 10 records are there such that they're having the data issue. But would you like to report at the same time or would you like to complete others and at the end I will collectively report to the manager? Yes, I found some records are incomplete. Collectively, yeah, these are the issues. So the second approach is a better, correct? As a human being, also we do the same thing. So we'll do skip that particular record for time being and go for next. After completion of all the records, I will collect out of 100, 90 are successful, 10 are failed. Means failed means having some issues. I will send a report to what? Manager or maybe someone who has assigned that task to you. Is it the way we are going to do?
Yes.
So it is expected to do like this. Assume I'll give one more scenario. While working on data entering you are doing, okay, after 25 transactions, while going for this 26th record, while entering 26th record, suddenly application got stuck. Suddenly application got stuck. What is your action?
We'll check with that application team. We'll stop there.
Now, what you will do? Do you directly go with IT team or you will do some trial error from your side? See, you are working 25 transactions are successful, file processing 26, application got stuck automatically. What you will do?
We'll skip
Normally,
that one,
if
sir.
there, yeah, yes, go ahead.
We'll skip that one 25th transaction. We'll proceed further, and whatever the query we have that particular transaction will then escalate to the relevant departments.
No, 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 no. You didn't
We'll
get
check
the
No, the
context.
system.
application only
Yeah,
stopped, Ali.
Ah,
Oh,
application
okay,
stuff, not data.
system error. Yeah,
okay, okay.
we'll
So
check if
this
there
could
is
be a
system.
application error, right? What we'll do? Normally, I will close this application and reopen
Yeah,
it.
and reopen it. Yeah.
Ribbon.
This is what human tendency we do. Reopen. After reopening, what we'll do? Do you start from again from 1 or you start from 26?
We'll start from
So the
26
fresh.
because 25 will be saved.
Correct. So ideally, we should start from 26 because 25 already processed. Nah? No need to start from again 1. Getting my point. So this is what idealistic. So application stuck in between while entering the data. So this is the application error. What we'll do simply we'll close the application, reopen it, and again start resuming. Resume where you left. Is it correct, guys? What I'm saying?
Yes.
Again for 26 you got the error. What will do? Second time. So here the concept comes up. How many times you want to retry? Matters,
Yes,
right? How
sir.
many times you want to close the application, reopen it, and start? So that depends on your requirement. You may feel that I will try 2 times as a human being and go for the next data. Maybe data issue because of that application getting stuck. It may happen. It may be chances. So I will try for the next data. Is it happening for the next data also? If you feel it is happening for all the applications, so how many times you want to retry that application to open for particular current transaction? So 26 transaction got error. How many times you want to open the application? How many times you want to retry that? So that is called as max retry concept. How many times you want to retry? Okay. So I hope you are now understand. Now you understood the entire uh, application requirement. And at the end, when all the transactions got completed, what is my job? Collectively, I have to send the status report to the manager. I have to say, see, out of 100 transactions, I got business exceptions, mean data issues for 10 records, application error for 2 records. Like this. So that status report I have to send at the end after completion of all the transactions. Understood, guys? So if you ask me, sir, how you will divide this into RE framework? Very straightforward and easy. If you observe this framework, you can understand. You can understand very clearly. Try to understand from process state. Initialization. So here we are going to initialize my application. Initialize my data. Do some validation. File is available or not. Data is available or not. Read the data. Open the application. Log into the application. See the validation, whether application is opening correctly or not. Credentials are correct or not. All those things comes under initializations. Understood what I'm saying? If everything is okay, if we are ready to process, means data, we have read the data, application is ready to process, then go for next state. If having issues, application not responding even after retry, then what? Stop there itself. No point to process further. Correct, na? You will reach out to IT team, getting the boys. So
Yes, sir.
basically, if application itself is not opening in the beginning itself, do you need to process further? No need of the processing further. So stop there itself and send an email to the manager saying that application is not responding, need a manual intervention. Kind of email. I'm just giving an example. So this email has to be sent and close all application with the help of end state. So all this provision we have to do it inside the end state. What next? Initialization done. Assuming application got opened, data is also available. Now ready to process. So basically processing is happened inside the process state. Here, processing state. What is use of the get transition data? So get transition data block normally keeps track of track of records processed. So for an example, 100 records you have to process 100. So you have to process one by one, correct? You have to process one by one. So to keep the track of processing, keep the track of transactions. So there is a separate block they have given. What is the use of this block? It will check whether next transaction data is available or not for processing. If it is available, then get that data and go to process state. If not available, no data, stop the process. Getting the context, guys? What is use of this? Get transaction data. What it will do? It will simply check whether transaction data is available or not, record is available or not for processing. One by one it has to process. If available, get the next data, go to process state. If not available, all the transaction got finished, then stop the bot. Okay, after getting the data in the process state, actual processing happens. Actual processing, what has to be done? Data is coming, we have the data. It data is having some informations of the transactions. Let's say that is called as transaction atom. So here in RE framework, the variable which contains one record, that is called as transaction atom. What it is having in our case, it may have employee detail, employee vendor name, date, how many hours has been worked. All these information will be available in that variable. So in the process state, what we are doing, in the process state, bot is going to enter data against each field: employee name, vendor name, total, then time, sorry, date and time, how many hours has been worked. All this data has been entered. Then click on next or click on save button. So those steps are captured inside the process state for that particular transaction item. Now, while processing the transaction item, I said there could be three different scenarios. One is successful, second is business exception, third is system exceptions. I hope now it's very pretty clear for me. based on the scenario, we can relate what exactly success means all the data has been entered, all the entries like employee name, vendor name, date, and hours has been entered, saved, successful. Then go for the where to go, get transaction data. Why it is going to get transaction data, guys? Any idea? Because get transaction data itself, this block is taking care of the data. There is a provision, some program is written here which will keep the track of data is available or not. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 up to 99 has been processed, 100 till 100 has been processed. For 101 transaction, what's supposed to happen? It's supposed to go to no data because data is completed. So simply it will keep the track. One transaction completed, incremented the number, transaction number. There is a transaction number variable. You can see there is a transaction item variable and the transaction number starting from 1. So it will keep on incrementing and will give the next data for processing. So of course, whenever there is a successful, it has to go to what? Get transaction
Next.
data, because it will fetch the next data if it is available. What you said about business exception, just recall the statement what you said. It has to skip, correct na?
Yes, sir.
What's supposed to happen for business exception, guys? When there is a error, business error, data is incomplete, so it has to skip that data, means go for next. Success is also going to the same state, going for next data. Business exception also going for next data. Only difference between these two is what? Success is after completion, it is going to next data. Business exception is it is simply moving as soon as when there is an incomplete data, when it is observed there is incomplete data, simply skip that data, go for the next one. Got the logic behind this? Why it is going for get transaction data?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now recall when system exception happens, what's supposed to happen? Just recall what you said. What you said. When application is not responding for a 26th of transaction, what's supposed to happen?
We'll retry.
Rest.
Close the application, reopen it.
Re-
That is the
Yeah.
requirement.
Yeah.
So out of these four stages, where we initialize the application, where we open the application, in which state?
Initializations.
Exactly. So in the initializations, we made a provision to open the application, log in the application, do validations. All those things has been done already. So that's why if we see this transaction line from process state, where it is going, where it is going, it is going to
Initial.
initialization.
Utilization.
You got the meaning why it is going to initialization? There is an intention behind that. So it is going to initialization means in the initialization, what we did again, opening the application, again going for get transaction data. So the intention is what? Application is opened, for example. Now the transaction number should be what? It should be 1 or it should be 26?
26.
26. So so the number is going to be 26 only, because there is no any other extra provision which makes the transaction number 0 or 1. So it will keep the track of transaction number as it is all over the flow. If you see the transaction number uh, scope is the last one. See, general business. So all over the workflow, transaction number is captured. So basically, transaction number is not going to 0. So simply it's going to keep the track. Like 25th is already complete, 26. So keep on
Just
retry, keep on retry.
so it will automatically fetch to the next transaction once the 25th transaction are completed. So it won't
Yes.
start from this. Okay.
So actually, in case of success and business exceptions, we are incrementing the transaction number. If it is 25, make it 26. What will happen then? It will go here and fetch the next record, because transaction number got incremented, right? But in case of system exception, increment will won't happen. Transaction number becomes 25 only. because we are retrying that. Go here, open the application. Before going to that, it is going to close it first. Before going to initialization, it is going to close the application. Then transaction number is same, it is not going to increment. Okay, and again it will open the application, get the data for that transaction number, and try processing that. Okay, after retrying, if it is successful, then it is go to the increment the transaction number and go to next step. If there is error, business error, increment the transaction number, go to get transaction data. Understood the flow, how it is moving?
So this flow will be so this flow will be standard for every automation what we'll do.
Yes. So basically, RE framework is recommended whenever you are going the repetitive operations. Repetitive means multiple transactions are there. Like the example what I given, where 100 records are bot has to process. So there are the two types of operations or automations we normally come across. One is a transaction base, and here is a single transaction, multiple transaction, single transaction. Multiple transaction means one by one record has to be processed. So then this is useful. RE framework is useful. When there is a single transaction, means no repetitions, one time operation is it is. Then RE framework is not useful in that scenario. Not that much useful because a one iteration process. If multiple iterations are there, then because this is a this provision has been made here, right? Get the next data, check the status, and go for next data like this. Process it like this. Repetition. So these two blocks are making the repetitions actually. These two block get attention this one and keeping the track one by one, one by one. If there's an error, system error, go to init state and again repeat this process.
Basically, this is like a for each loop, sir. मतलब,
Exactly. I think
yes.
you traced it very correct way. So this is simply kind of for each looping, but which is too much smarter, right? We have the lots of provisions over here to mark the transaction successful, failed because of what, all those things is done. Yes. Any difficulties you are we feeling?
Difficulties will be facing, I guess, like the initialization state only, the creating variables and inputting the data. So, because that part would be a bit challenging, and rest
So
the
already see, listen, already
mm,
you people have done separate automations. Like you know how to open the application, how to log in the application, how to
yes.
process it, right? Individually handled. So same thing you have to do, nothing different.
Okay. One question, sir, like for the multiple transaction, let's say, suppose there are 1,000 transactions. So, is it like it depends on the case to case where like we will be creating variables? Can we create variables for all transactions, one variable, or we have to separate according to the uh, what I would say, according to need? How it goes like in initialization phase, sir.
So that depends. Like if thousand, if I say in thousand transitions, if all the thousand transitions are doing the similar operations, then
Okay,
there is no any issue. So simply you can initialize all the required applications in the initialization, get ready for processing. Okay,
okay,
like initialization means get ready for processing. Login and simply login it and do validations over there
okay,
and make ready the screen availability.
okay.
Okay,
That means
and you can put all the required conditions.
Okay, sir. Basically, the segregation, it depends on the types of transaction, the nature of the transaction. Like, is it similar? Then it will be create one variable. If there are different, then we'll have to create accordingly.
Yeah, if you answer your questions very I can say precisely, like if you are saying 1,000 records are there and there are different scenarios inside that. Let's say 200 will work like this, 200 will work like this. If that the case, then the process state we can do like that. There should be
Mm.
some segregative parameter between all those
Okay.
transactions. Let's say location is the parameter. Okay, assuming. So
Okay.
location is one parameter in the transaction item. I have four different locations, A, B, C, D. So for A, we have the different flow, means different steps you have to follow. For B, we have to follow the different step. So likewise, if that is the requirement, guys, then we can add a four different switch cases. One switch case, which will take all the four locations. And we can add four different workflows under in each locations. So 1,000 records are there. All those data records are segregated using locations. Location wise, I have to do the processing differently. Then in RE we can do that, no problem. So in the process state, we can segregate it. So in the process state, I can add a switch case, which will, according to location, it will do the processing. Four different workflows I can add, A, B, C, D workflows. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I have text file here. Okay, let's understand this, or else I give enough time to you people. Just explore this. Go inside this and see what is there, what how it is. Because at high level understood now, and simply we have to understand in the inside side how it is defined, what we can do, what changes we have to do. That is a further part of understanding. Okay, so that part is a main means now high level you understood what are the framework, what are different stages, how it is connected, how we can divide our entire process into different stages. Now the question arises practically how I can use it in initialization, how we can do it, where I can call the sequences. So you understood the invoke method. Sunil might have taken that topic, invoke method concept. So if I develop the sequence separately, suppose I'm able to develop a sequence which will log into application, I can do that. So how I can call that sequence in RE framework? How I can call means invoke method. Okay. So for today, you can go with this. Okay. I can say this particular notepad is available on our Teams chat. You can take out that and go through this one. Okay. Try to understand. Same thing has been written in a statement, sentence formats. Okay. And what changes has to be done. All those things will be discussed in tomorrow sessions. Okay. Only instead of going this notes, also you can go and deeper and try to understand what is there. It's saying that first run, what is there inside this. Okay. Then sorry, what is there init all applications. So readily available XAML files are there. If you go to project folder here, guys, project folder under the framework, you can see some readily available sequences. Can you see this? Readily available sequences. Few are empty, few are already means proper, means there no need to change anything in that case. If you open the close all application, it is empty. See, it is empty. Nothing is there, only log message. Because applications, closing application is varies from automation to automation. So we can add the different activities here to close the applications. Get transaction data. There is a separate workflow for this. Okay. Init all application. Again, it is empty because applications are varies from automation to automations. Getting, guys? So these are the readily available framework which are divided inside this, added, called, invoked inside this RE framework. Okay. Then kill process, kill all. This also empty. Retry current transitions. So we discuss, right, retrying the transitions. So there is a flow already available, no need to worry about this. Okay, at the moment, try to understand only, no need to change anything in this one, no need to change, because it is readily available template. No need to change. Set transition status means after completion of every transaction, you have to set the status: success, business error, application error, or system error. So for that, this flow has been designed. Success, what to do; business execution, what to do; system execution, what to do. All this is written. Okay. And the last one is text screenshot. So whenever system exception occurs, then what's supposed to happen? Because these bots are running in unattended mode, then how I can understand ki by what exactly happened? Can I get the screenshot? So it will take the screenshot of the bot machine, and you can send the screenshot to the owner, process owner. This particular issue has been happened to the bot. So these all are XAML files are already available, are called inside the main workflow. Okay, main means these are available inside this all the stages. In all four stages, wherever necessary, these these workflows has been called. Okay, invoked precisely, if you want to say. So I appeal all of you to just go inside this, try to understand the each and every flows, these flows, and try to summarize how many workflows has been invoked inside initialization, how many workflows are there inside get transaction data, how many workflows are there in the process data, how many workflows are there in end process, and what is the importance of each. Try to explore by your side yourself. Anyway, we are going to discuss with the help of example tomorrow. Okay, we will take two examples tomorrow and understand importance of or the utilization of UAP RE framework effectively. Okay,
Okay, sir.
I hope I hope you got the base of RE framework in today's session, and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
utilization and all that is a further part of our discussion. And of course, we'll come across some challenges and all, but try to make the base perfect today. Tomorrow we'll be ready for using RE framework for real-time use case. With
So
this, I
one,
yes,
so one question, like in state machine, we have actually we have not done, sir. So what is just briefly you can tell me what entry and exit, what we have to, what is that?
that's why given and taken an example, right? Initially, this one.
No, exit is for what, sir?
See, entry means from this block to this block we are going, correct?
Yes.
As soon as come to this block, we are just giving the idea like when and what's supposed to be executed. So as soon as bot comes to this state, entry will get executed first. Whatever is there
Okay.
inside entry, it will get executed first.
Hmm.
Got it?
Yes.
Then it will check the conditions. Transition, it will check the conditions. Okay. Before moving to next state, before moving to next state, it will execute this.
Okay. So whatever will be there in exit before first entry, then the condition it will check, then it will go to exit.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
But mostly, I means I didn't use so no in my entire this 2 3 4 years of careers in RP domain especially, we didn't come across this part especially, but you should also know the importance of this one. So basically, as soon as bot enters to the state, entry will get executed first, second is condition get checked, and third is exit. So before moving to next state, it will get executed.
Okay. So mostly you are saying like in exit, you have not done any coding till now.
No, I didn't come across it, so I didn't I seen that is important to add over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So Again, if you know want in a precise manner, so there is a trigger concept here. Can you see this trigger one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it will come over here first of all. Before going to exit, it will come over here. It will work out this, then go to exit, and then go to next state. So basically, if you're not having any trigger concept, I'm saying the trigger concept is here actually. Here, trigger is again one
Mm-hmm.
kind of actions you want to take if
Yes.
conditions are matching or something happening. Okay, if you're putting some conditions over here, some actions over here, then only this entry and exit will differ mostly. But if you're not putting anything here, so entry and exit won't differ much. Won't differ much. So they they do the operation the similar manner.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's it I wanted to cover up for today. Okay, don't want to make you much burden on this RPA, so RE framework, because you also should digest, right? So take your time, invest some time, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours today. Try to explore this. It's fine if you're not getting something from this. It's absolutely fine because we'll cover up that. But if you're getting, that's a good thing. You can take the help of some YouTube resources as well to understand RE framework. So I will appeal like at least invest 1 or 2 or 2.5 hours of time. Whenever you get, at least you can watch the video. At least you can just see this one. Okay. And yeah, so we'll meet again tomorrow for implementation of this one.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So